Libra, welcome into your reading. Today we're going to take a look at a past, present, future. This is just going to be a general reading, so take what applies to you. We're going to do the reading for the dates of September the 24th through October the 1st. We'll be doing the reading over the top of the justice, the balance, the scales, because the archetype for Libra is the scales of justice. So let's get into the reading and see what we have for Libra. They are a cardinal sign, the initiating energy. We just fell into the autumn season through or into Libra, so just a few days ago. Okay, looks like we've got the Knight of Swords, the Ace of Cups, both in the upright position. The active and the passive positions look really, really amazing. So it looks like there is some super action coming in, some communication coming in, some kind of a some information's coming in, or came in rather, if we want to look at it as the past. And it was a beautiful offering, a relationship of some type, and perhaps a major emotional shift. It followed by the sun, happiness, enjoyment. There was, I suppose at that time, there was super peace, super angst, excitement. Maybe it came in really quickly for you. Then it's followed by the Page of Wands at the very end here. The page is also kind of that youthful, young spirit, all that excitement, butterflies, the whistles, the bells, the whole nine. And, it's got that exploration type of energy. So where do we go from here? So Libra, what is the present moment for you? We've got Judgment in reversed position. The Judgment card is Rise Up. It is a kind of a spiritual awakening, kind of maybe your eyes were open to some kind of new connection of some sort. Because we have two major arcana cards in the reverse, three major arcana cards in the reverse. Okay, Libra, what are we doing? We've got Judgment in the reverse position. Like I said, it's kind of an awakening, perhaps an enlightenment of some type, but we're in the reverse position. So let's take a look at Judgment in the reverse position together here. So maybe there's some self-doubt, uncertainty, fear of change, maybe avoidance. What are we avoiding here? Then it's followed by the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is the mystery card. She holds the internal magic, the internal wisdom, and the secrets. Things that are exposed within us. But she's also in the reverse position. So let's see. Let's see why she's also there. And then it's followed by the Chariot in reversed. And then the Fool. My goodness. This is a whole lot of energy to take in. So give me just a second, and we're gonna follow up with the Queen of Cups here. Why do we kind of feel like maybe there is an emotional block taking place? Maybe you got yourself into a relationship that just kind of threw you for a loop. Let me see here. Got Queen of Cups in reverse position. Well, look at that. Emotional instability, codependency, insecurity, vulnerability, and an imbalance. Okay. And it's followed by the Chariot. The Chariot is also in the upright position, a spiritual card, kind of like I build everything through my own willpower. I can manifest. I can, this to me feels like an out of control situation where like you've had to loosen up your control of things. But we'll take a look at the Chariot again also. and identify more information about the present moment here. Same thing. This lack of control. Yeah. Misdirection, doubt. Okay. I'm getting the sense that you're thinking about putting an ending to this relationship. It came in so quickly, and it just overwhelms you. It's kind of questioning. You're questioning your maybe your own faith, perhaps. Maybe there is some things going on in this relationship that's like I said, you're questioning, and it's really got you. Hmm. Okay. So, Libra, let's keep on moving on into the future cards here, and see what kind of decisions you're going to be making here. That's really kind of I kind of am interested in knowing what it is that you got into or what the relationship was like. So it looks like there's going to be some balance taking place. We got the Six of Pentacles in the upright. The Six of Pentacles is definitely a balance card, and let me I say the Six of Pentacles here. Yeah, let me get some more information. See if I can go a little bit further with the Six of Pentacles and draw some of that out. So we've got maybe financial stability, but um, I'm not sure. Yeah, and it's followed by the Ten of Cups and the High Priestess. I mean, this is actually looking really beautiful here. I'm not sure if there's an issue. Maybe I feel like still you're just, are you going too fast? Are you rushing? And maybe the High Priestess is calling out your fear. You've seen Judgment in a reverse position. Your fear about, maybe this is a non-traditional type relationship. There are relationships out there now that do not fit in the box of the norm. And maybe it's calling out some of that traditionalist type. I don't know. Maybe you're feeling the heat or the heaviness of that. We do got the Queen of Cups, and perhaps maybe this person or people that you are surrounding yourself with are indulging in lots of different ideas about spirituality, and so like I said, you're just kind of questioning, do I put an end to this? But it looks like your future is showing the Six of Pentacles, in the upright position, and then it's followed, by the Ten of Cups, happy home, happy life, happy. I mean, it's a beautiful spread, and then followed by the High Priestess, and she is the mystery. She sits between the duality of both your humanistic type thoughts and also your spiritual thoughts, and combining them with some kind of a spirituality. And then it's followed by the Page of Cups over here in the reverse position. So the Page of Cups is this another offering of some kind, but it feels like maybe you're putting something off. Again, that there's this Page of Cups saying there's an offering here for you, but you're not willing to accept yet. Maybe you're still just a little in the doubt stage of this. What are we trying to get to here, Libra? We're going to look over here on the other side, the far right, and we're going to pull from the cauldron here. Now, the cauldron's going to call out some things maybe we need to question about ourselves, about this relationship, about this opportunity. It could be, some kind of a financial stability. Is it the way this relationship's going? Is it looking like it may be, pulling you away from your own stability or what have you? But it still appears we got the King of Cups in the reverse position, and yeah, okay, yeah. And then the Five of Swords, and then the Wheel of Fortune reverse. Both of those, all three of those are in reverse position. So let's look at the King of Cups here, and maybe this will give us a little bit better idea here. Manipulation, emotional instability, a detachment, an insecurity. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and then see the Five of Swords also talks about a kind of this manipulating type energy, right? usually the fives are indicative of that, but it seems like, um, no, maybe there is something in this relationship that you're just coming aware of, and you put a really abrupt end to it. Or, if this is in your present, the Fool card is the beginning and the ending, of a journey. The Fool is the journey card, and it's like, in reverse position, like I said, you just kind of put the brakes on to that. Let's see. Now let's take a look at the Fool in reversed here. Recklessness. Yeah. Risk taking. Carelessness. Yeah, I kind of feel like you witnessed something, and maybe you're in a group, maybe you're in an environment where maybe this is taking place, and all of a sudden it called into place for you, like, I mean, quickly, with judgment. It called into quickly the Chariot and the Fool. And so you're present, you're looking out, going, health, wealth, stability, and maybe you were dependent upon these, maybe a little bit of codependency upon these particular things. But by being involved in this, um, it's really put you in your kind of in this high priestess position, because that's what you're manifesting, right? That's in the third position of the manifestation. So I'm kind of wondering if you're challenging a traditionalist view, or a kind of a challenging the faith view. And since everything was moving so fast, um, I don't know, because when we're followed by the Wheel of Fortune, but it's in the reverse position. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is the cycles, of the ups and the downs. Um, and I'm not really sure. Then we have the Page of Pentacles in the reversed. Let's look at the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse position too, because I feel like some bad luck, unexpected setbacks, hesitations, cycles, and challenges there. Maybe you feel like you're just out of control, or it's out of control. This situation is out of control. Libra, what did you get yourself into here? What kind of relationship? I'm going to keep going here because I'm interested to know. Like I said, I feel like this has really just opened your eyes to, yeah, you still feel bound to it, chained to it somehow. We got the Eight of Swords up here, but that is a choice. You're making a deliberate choice there. And I know that doesn't sound super exciting, but this has really got you overloaded. You're carrying a huge weight on your shoulder here of burden for that. Why is this it kind of feels like self-infliction, you kind of like your own worst enemy here. But yeah, and then we have the Ace of Swords, which is a divine offering of communication. And that makes sense, because, like I said, we have the High Priestess over here in the manifested position, and the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like this is a decision point for you. And, we had the Page of Pentacles in the reversed over here, right after the Wheel of Fortune. And the Page of Pentacles also speaks about that kind of maybe an immaturity, yeah. Stagnation, unrealized potential. You're putting something off, procrastinating, of course. It makes sense. Okay, where do we go from here? Libra, this is a mixed bag, and maybe I feel like that's what's taking place in your head. You've got a mixed bag of emotions. And you're like, what do I do? Okay, so if you came, if you came to the cards to say, what do I do? I mean, you're self-analyzing all of these things, and if you're not in a position that you can move away from this, then I would say remain in the High Priestess position. She is intuitive, and she nurtures her emotions, right? With a very high femininity, and to gain balance. So I feel like that this binding that you've got is kind of like all of these swords would represent like these, you had this beautiful relationship thing taking place, right? And then all of a sudden now you're seeing that maybe there is this non-traditionalist views, or there's things taking place, maybe overindulgence within this group. And I kind of get a feeling like maybe this is this is maybe like a multiple partner relationship type thing that maybe it's throwing you in an imbalance, questioning that. But at the same time, maybe you are coming into a spiritual awakening. You know or recognize that, um, and it's kind of got you just just wondering about the situation. I tell you, this is a hard read. It's hard to figure out because there's so many energies involved in this. And I feel like balance and this happy home, happy life, and the high priestess are three beautiful cards. We're getting a lot of threes here. So if this is like a throuple relationship, or you're just settling in, if that's the case, I mean, there's lots of energies taking place, right? Maybe you jumped into that really fast. Maybe you moved into a throuple relationship or something that you didn't quite expect or ask enough of the questions beforehand. Everything was really beautiful at first, but then it called into question a lot of questions. You know what I mean? And I'm not judging. I have no issues with anybody in their relationships. It's none of my business. It's nobody's business. It's yours. And I think maybe that's what's taking place here, is that you guys are going through a cycle, perhaps, and it is what it is. You're dealing with finances now. Who pays what? Maybe I'm paying more than somebody else, and I don't find that fair. Maybe there feels like there may be a little bit of trickery, like it's a trust issue. You're having to deal with trusts. I mean, there's more than just one or two energies. You've got multiple energies that are taking place. And so your King of Cups love is being challenged. That King of Cups is the that supportive energy. It is the firm energy. It's being questioned. It's called into question because sharing yourself with your energies with multiple people can be very draining and consuming. So I feel like I feel like if I keep going, we're just going to continue to run into more energies that are going to be like, where do you place this energy? Where do you place that one? I just want to say right off the bat that, you know, um, whether you're in a throuple relationship, or whether you're in a monogamous, or any polyamorous type of relationship, those are just words, okay, that society has used to put things in a box so they can understand it, right? But the thing of it is relationships are relationships. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You can read any psychology review, peer review on any of this. What it does do is it just adds multiple energies into the relationship. So it can really compound your emotions whenever there are so many people, or so many emotions, or so many energies involved, right? But the thing of it is that I think if each individual person um, can really understand that unconditional means that I am, regardless of what the situation is, I trust myself, and I trust my own intuition, and I trust my own inner guidance, and I trust my own support system. I don't need an external source like this partner and that partner, regardless of, like I said, how many are involved. Um, because you're trying to remain sovereign, whether you're in a relationship or not. Excuse me, you're trying to find your balance. In your very present, we saw three major arcana cards. Okay, Fool reversed, and it just tells me that this is a journey. It's another journey, but it feels like you're questioning whether or not to put an end to it. So, um, I would say if you're going to leave that situation, which is obviously ultimately your choice in the end, don't take with you any kind of a negative aspect. Only walk away with the knowing that this was a learning experience, but it's also, and it's not a failure. There's no such thing as failure. It's always a learning experience. But remain with your heart open. Remain in that open-hearted space because the high priestess remains open-hearted. She is unconditional. There are no conditions in which any particular person has to be in order for her to be happy. She makes the choice ultimately to be happy. And the reason I said it like that, and I don't mean to sound, like a big D-hole, okay? But you had, you know, you had right up here the Eight of Swords, okay? And that binding is a choice, right? She chooses to remain sovereign. She chooses not to be bound or held in any kind of condition, okay? And these are conditions. Every one of these swords are conditions. So if you are in a relationship where you're feeling like, you know, there just doesn't seem to be any kind of balance in this scenario, then keep in mind that that's whether you're polyamorous, that's whether you're monogamous, it doesn't matter. Uh, it's a call to partnership for a reason. You know, it takes multiple people to be on that ship to make it work. So I kind of feel like maybe hopefully is confirmation for somebody. I don't really know. What you're looking at, the side of the manifested future cards look like it's happy home, happy life, but I feel like maybe you're just going, I don't know if this is right, and you're letting external sources kind of dictate your happiness there. The the binding that I was talking about is kind of that external sources that can kind of creep in on us and help, when we seek validation like that from external sources. So to me, I'm an open man myself, but I feel like love is love is love is love. You know, there is no condition in which somebody's going to have to be. If I'm in a situation that continually tips me and moves me, I'm gone. I don't need to be in that anymore. I've realized that. And a lot of times we kind of saw some cards, the page reversed there, also talked about is kind of an immature, and I don't mean to call anybody immature, but I mean a very brand new relationship is in an immature status. You know, it hasn't gained any maturity. So I feel like maybe that's where it's at. It's just in that, where the honeymoon stage kind of fell away and now it's kind of, we're pulling off the masks, right? So that's why it's very important we don't enter any relationship without a mask. So if you do walk away, let that be the lesson. No more masks. You go in with your boundaries. Look, if we're in a polyamorous relationship, we're going to have communication, period. The moment I start to feel insecure about something, I'm not asking you to validate me and to lift me up and to continually uh, feel like you need to hold me up like a child. That's not what I'm asking, but I am asking for honesty. And whenever I feel there's an insecurity in me that's been triggered by something, I want to talk about it. And I should have that right to be able to profess that to somebody. And that's any relationship, right? So that's a beautiful thing. I mean, I feel like that's a beautiful thing. Okay, Libra, I hope this helped you. I hope you stuck with me. I hope you really take into consideration those types of things and really just I feel like, find some space or find the moment to bring this up about the relationship if that's the case. Um and speak your truth, sovereignty, show your boundaries, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable in that. And I feel like everything's supposed to work out just the way it's supposed to. We saw the happy home, happy life taking place. So that's a divine offering. That's beautiful. All right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know, and hope to see you on the next one. All right. Bye.